Okay, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. It's quote by Walt Disney. On behalf of the college, Madam Principal Dr. Mrs. Kodai, the Deans Dr. T. Punitavati, Dr. Anusha Balasingh, Eti Shakti, the Students' League of Etheridge College, and the beloved students, I deem it a privilege to welcome our chief guest, Mr. Dayamurthy, to the third day of a webinar series, Turning Crisis to Opportunities. I also extend my sincere thanks to you, sir, for accepting our invitation to address our students. Mr. Dayamurthy heads the Institutional Partnership, International Skill Development Corporation. He studied at Bangalore and has worked as a sales professional for over 15 years. He also worked with various national and international organizations like Coca Cola, Reliance Group, HSBC Bank, Suleika, and Miles Foundation. Now, apart from heading ISDC, he's closely associated with over 20 chartered bodies in UK to make professional qualifications and global opportunities available to students across the country. Today, he's here to address you all on the career prospects post COVID. I hope his talk would be a roadmap to guide you through his pandemic uncertainty and also serve as an inspiration, a pioneering spirit in converting your hurdles into ladder of success. I once again welcome you, sir, and hope this would be an enriching session to the students. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much for your warm welcome. My dear students, good afternoon to everyone. At the outset, I would like to express my sincere gratitude fraternity at Ethiraj College, Chennai. So, Eti Shakti, as the name inspires empowerment, and this is one of the, I would say, great initiative from the college, trying to give a lot of impetus in terms of giving information to students, which could certainly be going to be a great value add in terms of their career shaping and overall personality. So, in this session, I would try my level best to keep this session as practical as possible. I can imagine myself in your shoes. When suppose if I was a student at this point of time, so there used to be a lot of information that is coming from all the corners. So at my generation, early or late 90s when I did my UG program, so there's not much of an information. We never heard much about the Google or the social medias you're talking about, or internet for that matter was kind of I would say not very nascent, but kind of nascent, and definitely not much into the WhatsApp and all such gamut of information that we are in today. So I can really imagine how exactly today's students are getting exposed to a lot of information. The information comes from various sources, definitely the media, newspapers, and thanks to all the applications that are there in our phones like Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, lot many forwarded messages, and I'm sure a student is going to get a lot of information. So this serves as two things. It has a merit, also it has a demerit. The merit side is something happening at any corner of the world, we come to know within seconds. All right. I really mean it. Within seconds, you'll come to know really what really happened. So, second thing is you will be updated. Okay, you always keep stay updated with the latest trends and happenings in the industry and in your particular domain area. And in terms of the demerits, it consumes a lot of your time. And very, very important, probably it consumes a lot of your time for the unwanted information. If I'm really not interested in, let's say, Tollywood or a Bollywood or a Hollywood, for example, I keep getting information on those areas. So, which I'm really not bothered about it, but still, so my space is getting filled with this particular information. So my time is getting wasted over there. So this is the demerit, I would say. This tries to kind of take your attention span to something else, and you in the student life might not be able to invest 100% of your time or a quality time doing quality things. All right. So having said that, I belong to a company called International Skill Development Corporation. So we are a UK based organization. We are here in India for the last. I hope you guys girls can see my screen. Calvin, is my screen visible? Is my screen visible to you, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much. So, this is what I was talking, just giving you a brief about my company, International Skill Development Corporation. So, we are a UK-based organization, and we are having presence in India for almost, I think, more than 10 years, 10 plus years. So, we work with various colleges and universities across the country in terms of professional skilling. So, if you can see our tagline, "Skills for Tomorrow." So we are associated with 20 plus chartered bodies from UK and a couple of chartered bodies from US as well. So we try to encourage students to do these qualifications alongside the regular regular studies. So today's topic is basically career prospects post COVID. I'll try to touch upon a couple of areas which seem to be in sync with the changing trends. All right. So uh, everyone, we work with a couple of employers as well. Besides the academic fraternity, we also engage employers in terms of giving them the trained manpower and ensuring how exactly the functional units can recruit the required manpower for them. So the one pertinent question that often comes today is, are you future ready? Okay. So what exactly you mean by are you future ready? So can anyone really depict or forecast what a future would look like? I would say, when I say future, maybe a 5 year or 10 year scenario would look like. So yes, there are techniques, there are experts, there are tools available, but what I meant to say is none of those 100% accurate results. So they can probably envisage or forecast these could be the trends that are maybe going to be important, and some things might become obsolete, etc. But however, the various techniques and tools that are available, we can somewhere go close. And some student life in a student life, you can prepare yourself to meet the challenging demands of tomorrow. All right. So for example, even in the month of March, okay, as I said, we engage almost about 100 plus educational institutions across the country, a lot of them in Tamil Nadu and Chennai as well. So we never forecasted that we are going to be turning all these seminars into webinars. So we never ever forecasted that, okay, nobody for that matter, not just people at ISDC, nobody, you as well. So nobody knew that there's a tool called Google Meets available, though we kind of heard about it, but we wouldn't have used it so rampantly that we're using it today. So Zoom and WebEx and a lot of other Microsoft Meets. So these are becoming like a new normal. So I wake up and I get a list of my calendar. Some engagements are on Google Meet, some are on Cisco based WebEx platforms, some are on different other platforms. So everything is happening virtually. So I don't know where you are, which corner of Chennai or Tamil Nadu you're sitting, and what you're doing, but I'm still addressing to you on a real time basis. So this is the beauty of a technology. And so this is how we can one anybody can make some attempts in terms of how somebody can be future ready or staying relevant for the industry needs. So I have a question for you. So what is your next plan of action? So I have just jotted a small sentence I'm sure you would be having a pen and a paper with you. So my only question is, if I ask you a question, I'm a student pursuing whatever year of graduation, first year, second year, third year, of whatever course. It could be BCom, BBA, whatever the course that you're doing, and I want to dash after my graduation. What do you want to do after your graduation? So whatever that comes in your mind, please put it down here. So I would say, please put it down. Whatever comes to your mind, please put it down. Whatever you have planned. So the reason why I often ask this question is because I'm sure I'm addressing to all the UG students, undergraduate students pursuing your degree programs, right? So once you complete your degree program, you will be completing what, almost 17 years of formal education, all right? So 15 years of graduation plus your preschool, LKG, UKG, 2 years. I'm sure most of you would have done in your generation. So in my generation, that was not there. So but then 17 years of hardened money has gone into your education. Time has gone. You're putting a lot of efforts in terms of scoring good marks or attempting to score good percentile year after year, and then once you complete your graduation, a 3 years degree, so you'll be completing 17 years. That's a pretty solid duration, close to about 2 decades, 2 decades of knowledge gathering, or getting to learn certain things. All right. So I want you to write it here, because I really want to know what is the planning that you've done. Okay. So what is the planning that you've done for your career? So in the subsequent slides, let us try to kind of discover how exactly and what exactly. I'm also going to talk a little bit about goal setting, besides the career aspects, post COVID, all of that. So stay attentive, and if you have any doubts, start jotting it down in a piece of paper, and you have a chat box in this particular window, and you can put it on the chat box. I love to answer that. All right, so I have two sets of students. All right, student A. So once completing the graduation, the student A would start thinking what to do. The student A starts thinking, should I go and do an MBA program, or a PG diploma program, or should I take up a job, or should I start doing a business? Some people would have their business already available. The parents may be having a business, so it is easy for you to join their existing business. And today, the whole India is talking about startup culture. So startup economy, and a lot of boost is given from the government as well to start up a business. So your mind might also think, okay, look, my friend or my neighbor started a business, so it's doing very well. So why don't I start a business? And own business means you're a boss for yourself. That's a very nice feeling. Definitely, it's a good feeling. So, and then you might also do some short-term courses. A lot of short-term courses are available online and offline. There are a lot of training institutes who train you on a lot of areas. There are a lot of courses available virtually through online. I mean, the variety of courses are available online. So probably you plan to do that as well. All these are a typical state of mind of a student. All right. The reason is, the student gets, as he said initially, he or she gets a lot of information from various sources. Family wants the student to do something. The student would have an inherent desire to become something, and he or she looks at somebody else, and they joined certain company, they did certain course, and they are having latest gadgets, and fancy things, and watches, or whatever. So you some people get kind of carried out by those things as well. And also, some people also would not know what next to do, because the information is coming from various sources. They are in a conundrum, the confusion stage, the confusion to the highest. They're not able to go, what is the next path. If somebody asks them, okay, what next after graduation, they don't have a spontaneous answer. They think, because they're not sure what is running in their minds. So this is the one stage of mind. So what does this particular state of mind result into? It's a very conventional approach. Conventional means, okay, let us see tomorrow. Let me just think about it. Okay. So when we ask some students, what do you want to do after graduation? They say, sir, I'm still in first year. I have 2 more years to go. 2 more years is almost about 4 semesters, And let me just think when I come to my final year, or let me think after completing my degree, getting a degree certificate in my hand. A very, very conventional approach, definitely not a good thing to do, and definitely not a goal oriented. There's no goal. Goal is always futuristic, right? Suppose if you have a goal of becoming something, it's future, right? It's not the past. So this particular approach is definitely not a goal oriented approach, and definitely lack of planning. When there's no goal, definitely there's no planning, right? So both are synonymous to each other. And this particular approach often leads student in a very long state of confusion, and it also causes a lot of stress, and student will also be in a depressed state of mind. It often gives very less success, or sometimes it might also lead to failure. All right. So now let us look at a student B. Okay, so they do a degree with some professional qualification. They join IMNC. They go for higher studies. They even seek career opportunities outside India. So student B, the flow chart, whatever that is appearing on your screen. I'm not saying you have to plan in a similar way. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is you have to have a goal. Okay, it has to be a goal oriented. Second thing is you should always think as a student of commerce. You should always think what is the good return. I know we always think return on investment, right? ROI. So you would have perhaps would have learned in your academics as well. So what is the return on investment? If you're spending X amount of money, so how soon or how much more can you get it back in future? So this is the planned approach. Again, I'm saying, I might not have the space to put a lot of things, but generally people would tell people a planned student would plan a career in this way. So they do a degree and they do some other qualification which are quite relevant, and they join a job. They try to do higher studies, or probably if the student is really preparing for a CAT or some GMAT or whatever other exams, they prepare it right from day one. They have the vision and they complete that, and then join a MNC job or start a business, and then family life or going outside India, and they're on so on and so forth. That's how it goes. So when I ask this question, okay, you want to be a student A or student B, I'm sure, maximum, I would say almost about 100% of them would say, I want to be a student B. I want to be a goal oriented person. I want to really ensure, my future is going to be extremely good. All right. Now, let us try to look at, how can Indian graduates improve their employability? The reason why I've very carefully put this question is because ours is a young nation. So we are almost about a 1.4 billion population, and almost about 70% of them are a youth population. So we are globally, I'm talking about entire world. So the youth percentage is highest in India. All right. So that's where we say one day we can be a very, very powerful nation. Reason because today we find more youths than more of a age-old people. You talk about the established economies. You talk about UK for that matter. You find more aged people, older people, so than the younger generation. All right. So even Japan for that matter, they find you find more old generation than the new generation. All right. So now we often talk about skills. Okay, the entire country is talking about skills. Skills is how to exactly acquire a skill. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you in the future. I mean, next subsequent slides. What is a skill and how can you acquire those skills and how can you stay relevant in things in the days to come? So we're talking about industrial revolution. This is the industry 4.0. What are the new changing trends? How dynamic the environment would become, the economy would become, for that matter. So these are the areas that you need to probably look for. I would say, girls, I would really say a lot of information. You don't have to study or read only when somebody forwards you. Okay, a lot of information is really available on the net as well. Okay, only thing is those who seek, they will get the result. It's like there's a age-old saying, the crying baby gets milk. So the crying baby gets milk is a wonderful saying, because you have to cry. If you want information, if you want to seek information, you have to go for it, and you certainly get it. So for if I have to ask you a question, how many of you really have an account in LinkedIn? I'm really not sure about it. So those of you do not have an account in LinkedIn, please do have. If I ask before that, if I had asked a question, how many of you have an account in FB or an Instagram or Twitter? 90% of them would say yes. Okay, so it's nice. I'm not saying you should be out of the social media, you should be out of the entertainment sphere. You should certainly have your share of entertainment. What I'm saying is, once you step into the graduation, at least the students in the third year graduation, I'm really do not know how many of them really belong to the final year, or what is the split of the attendees here for this today's session. But if you're certainly in a final year semester or a final year graduation, it is very imperative that you have to have an account in LinkedIn. It is not just for people who are going for jobs. It is not for seeking for employment. Yes, you can also seek for employment. There are a lot of job postings available, but also it also increases your professional networking. So that's where, and it's a free account. It's not they don't want to charge you any money for that. So the need for industry ready and job ready workforce is highly significant. Okay, so we're talking about graduates getting employability. See, employability, if I have to divide this into two words, employ and ability. So the ability to get an employment. So employments or jobs are always available. Okay, so even if you open a Naukri.com, the job's available, right? It would look like a paradox or a contradicting thing to you. If you look into labor law reports, they would say unemployment is so and so percentage. Because of COVID, a lot of layoffs happened. There's a lot of unemployment. On the other hand, you log into our job portals, you see various jobs. I mean, not just in one domain area, the other domain areas also. There are various jobs that are being posted, right? So industries or employers are really looking for a job ready individuals. Please understand this. When I say job ready, they want to recruit you, and they want to ensure, okay, fine, I have taken Miss X, and this girl is able to perform this job very well. Okay, so what am I doing? I'm reducing my training cost, or I'm making my training cost nil. So training is one such function which is not a revenue generation. If I have to train you after recruiting, just imagine a scenario. I'm going to recruit 10 people from Etiraj. And if I have to train them, I have to pay for trainer, right? Nobody does a free training. Either I have to get a trainer outside the company, outsource that particular trainer, or I have to hire a trainer, internal trainer, have to pay him or her a salary, and have to ensure I'm going to train 10 girls of Etiraj. Now, what is a guarantee that these girls who are getting trained are going to stay in the organization? There's no guarantee. So they get trained. I'm investing a lot of money on you. I'm investing time on you. So you become kind of equipped to perform the job. And tomorrow, if you're not in the job, then who's under loss? The employer is under loss, right? So there is this statistics from NASSCOM and AICT. Very interesting statistics. You need to read this. So unemployment among youth has been increasing. Okay, over 60% of 8 lakh plus engineering graduates every year remain unemployed. Unemployed. Sorry. So this is the report from AICT. On the other hand, NASSCOM gives another report. Almost 39% employers encounter challenges to attract quality talent. It is evident that enormous gaps exist between skills available and employability. See, your students of first year graduation, you definitely can understand these sentences. So I'm not talking to a student who's like a high schooler or a middle class student. So you have attained a degree. I mean, or going to attain a degree. You can really understand the implication of these sentences. All right. So India has almost about 700 plus universities across. Okay. So we talk about state, central, and there are a lot of private universities deemed to be universities, etc. Almost about 30,000 plus colleges. I don't know the statistics. Okay, this happened to read it sometime back. It may be more. It may be even more now. But I don't know the statistics. How many people of commerce, especially in the country, passes out every year? Okay, so it may be several lakhs. So now, once you pass out of a commerce graduation or a BBA for that matter, or any degree for that matter. So you need to understand, you need to ask yourself a question. Okay, now what is the difference between me and a student coming from a different college or a different university? Okay, so yes, you're a product of Etiraj, okay, known for quality, known for good professors, training, all of that, very nice. But then you're holding a degree in your hand. Somebody else also holding a degree in their hand. Now employers, okay, to interview a fresher, okay, they roughly, they screen your resume or your CV hardly for about few seconds, okay, and your interview will last long only for a couple of minutes, not too lengthy an interview. So in this point of time, you need to ensure that you are making a catchy appearance in the eyes of the employers. All right. So this is a separate topic. Let me not just go too much onto this. Okay. So let me just move on to the next things. That is the discussion today. What we're doing, disruptions. All right. So disruptions in the accounting domain. I presume that I'm addressing to the commerce grads. Okay. So accounting and finance domains. What exactly the disruptions? How exactly these disruptions are going to cause or make an impact in future, and how you as a student should be ready to face that particular impact. All right. So now we are not talking about big data. I'm 20% sure everybody would have heard about something called a big data and IoT. Internet of Things is the full form of IoT. So new age technologies based on big data, talking about business intelligence, analytics, and Internet of Things, okay, are reaching to every area of business life. Okay. So this might sound like a techie words, but definitely all the businesses, you talk about a healthcare or a bank or retail, all of them have greatly adopted this particular technology. So this big data gives business leaders unprecedented amounts of information and the analytical tools for improved decision making. All right. So this is a key. Decision making is the key, and what makes a person do a effective decision, that is with the data. All right. So in turn, financial advisors, all right, financial advisors, or you talk about accounting professionals, will use the same set of data tools to move from data entry, or even talk about record keeping or simple analysis, to strategic business consultancy. So there was a article sometime back. They were telling me in future there's nothing like a salaried job. Okay, it is all basis on, okay, I have this much of job. Okay, you do this, you perform this job. Basis on this job, I'm going to pay you. So you are an expert in that particular area. You can demand. So you can demand, okay, I'm going to get this job done. I would say 1 lakh or 2 lakh, whatever. I mean, I'm just throwing some random numbers. So you can say this is what my fees is going to be. All right. So the salaried job, or a 9 to 5 or a 10 to 6 jobs, might probably become obsolete. Okay. So we all are getting into new normal. Okay. So there's a new normal. So the new normal, we don't know what shapes in future is going to take shape. And I may not be surprised. So Microsoft Excel might probably move away, and something else, some other tools, the analytical tools might come into the picture. So today, financial controllers, CFOs in the organizations are really using structured data. Okay, they're really using structured data, unstructured data, and predictive analytics to assess massive banks of customer information, massive data of customer information, and they also assess the financial trends and the industry information, and to make an insightful and a meaningful forecast for their clients. All right. So now mobile computing, moving on to the next thing, disruption. Mobile computing, it's a very simple thing, as the name suggests mobile computing. So what does it mean? It's a mobile and internet on the mobile. So everybody are using smartphones, right? So for that matter, Jio doesn't even support the other standalone, the other phone at all. So it only supports a smartphone. So going forward, that becomes the that becomes the need of the hour. Everybody would certainly have a smartphone. They're already having an internet, and 5G is already come in the other developed countries, and it's not too far away that we are going to experience 5G. Okay, so I was just talking to one of the persons in the electricity board sometime back. So he's a consultant there. So he was telling me that today we all get the electricity based on the usage in terms of watts, right? So how many ever units that you have used, one unit multiplied by whatever is the amount, so that is going to be your electricity bill. So probably going forward, what would happen is the billing parameter would change. It becomes based on the time of the usage. If at all you're using more amount of electricity in the morning, the bill is so much. If you're using less amount or whatever amount in the afternoon, you need to pay per unit into lesser cost. So something on those dynamics, the pricing strategy would vary. So something like, if you have seen, the mobile operators say any calls that is made after 9 p.m. Okay, so the tariff is going to be less. Something on those lines. Even the electricity board is also thinking on those lines to come. I don't know when it'll really happen, but the days are too near for that. All right. So businesses and consumers are increasingly using mobile devices to access the data anywhere. Okay, accounting services are adopting to this changing demands. For instance, small businesses, small operators want to maintain bookkeeping on the go. When you say on the go, mobile on the go, on the move, all right, recording expenses, managing accounts, and tracking financial data, all these are happening on the go. Accounting softwares, for that matter, accounting software vendors are responding to the shift, and a lot of applications have already come into the picture. So these applications certainly has a lot of safety features. They say they have a military level, security encryption. So which means, organization can completely rely on these third-party applications, for them to adopt to this particular changing trends. All right. Now, cloud accounting, right? We all have heard about cloud computing and cloud accounting. Cloud computing is a pretty old phenomenon, but cloud accounting has already come into the picture. So sometime I was reading the statistics in India. Almost about 30% of small businesses and about 60 or more than 60 or 70% of large businesses have already adopted cloud accounting in their day-to-day operations. All right. So I have an interesting statistics to show, and of course, A word automation. Everybody should know the A words: automation and AI. So in the next slides, I'm going to tell you how exactly this are changing. So this is the statistics which I happen to get it from the internet. In the functional areas, what is the repercussion of these automation? So how exactly they are penetrating? You talk about any kind of a functional area. So how exactly this automation is penetrating? It's enormous. The penetration is quite enormous. All right. The next slide is even more interesting. You can see writing and responding to emails almost about 87%. Okay. I will tell you my personal example. Almost a year ago, okay, almost 1 year ago, I happened to meet a data scientist in a conference. So he gave a wonderful speech. I really liked him. And during a coffee break, I happened to speak to him. I explained him whatever my organization does. And he's a very busy person. He's an international guy. He's a person from USA, and we exchanged our business cards. So after I came back from the conference, I wanted to get some inferences from him. I wrote an email to him asking few questions, and in the last line in my email, I categorically mentioned, Mr. Thomas, please answer these queries of mine whenever you get a free time, because I know that he's a busy guy, and I just happened to meet him in a conference, and I have a lot of questions and doubts to ask him. And doesn't mean that I have to ask him a question and he replies to me. So I was little obligated to mention that please answer these questions whenever you get a free time. You know what? I just sent him the mail. Within few seconds, I got a reply from him, and I could see all my questions were answered. Okay. Then I sent him a thank you note. He reciprocated that. Then later, I was discussing with my colleagues. There were some more doubts. I replied it to him. Then again, I got it in a couple of seconds. Okay, I was really astonished. I was really astonished. Such a busy guy writing such a long mail, and answering every question of mine, my every question in my mail so meticulously. So I got a chance to talk to him offline, and I asked him, "You're such a busy man. How do you manage your time? I really want to know how exactly you manage your time." Whenever I ask you a question, you answer it so spontaneously. He said, Daya, I'm not doing it. My bot is doing it. All right. So there is a robot. Okay. There's an application which he has it in his laptop, and that application reads all his mails. And whenever the application is not able to answer a specific questions, only those particular mails will be routed to this gentleman. Otherwise, almost about all the mails, whatever generic emails, generic queries, the robot itself is responding to it. So writing emails, responding, lot of content that are available today on the internet, a lot of Wikipedia, I would say. You all know Wikipedia, right? A lot of content in Wikipedia has been developed by robots, all right? So you can see in how exactly accounting and tracking financials, all right? I would say it's more than 67%. Okay, the kind, because we run a lot of financial and accounting programs, and whenever we come across big four accounting firms, EY, KPMG, Ernst and Young, we get to know a lot of automation is already in the process. Okay, so this is how this slide is quite interesting for you to understand how exactly these are changing. Okay, and I'm repeatedly telling you, okay, you are from a commerce field, do not have to worry that, look, I'm not from science. This man is talking about robotics, he's talking about artificial intelligence, automation, all big words. My brother did engineering, only I could see some textbooks mentioning about cloud computing, all that. So now how is it relevant for me? So definitely it is relevant for you. So tomorrow, that is what is going to be the future, and you have to stay updated in order to ensure a success. In order to not become a expiry material very soon, you have to stay relevant for this. So this means, one day accounting or financial professions will be replaced by technology. And are you feeling left behind? So these are the questions that I have. Definitely not. Accounting and technology are definitely going to become two sides of a same coin. Okay, the day is already come. It is not future. Okay, so COVID is just a reason for us to understand. Okay, fine. A lot of lockdown happened across the world. A lot of businesses have completely slowed down. Some are stopped their operations, maybe temporarily or maybe permanently. And there's a new paradigm shift that everybody are witnessing. But even otherwise, just imagine a scenario that everything is going normal. Okay, there was no COVID. Okay, there's nothing like a word called COVID, and everything is normal. Just imagine that I'm actually appearing right in front of you. You're all sitting in an auditorium in Ethiraj College, Chennai, and I come to Ethiraj College, Chennai, Egmore, and I'm answering to you or addressing to you all in person. Okay, so this is what I would have said. This is what anybody would have said. All right. So the change is something very constant. All right. So nobody is ever can ever say, okay, look, I've learned this and that's the end of it. That's a dead end, and I can be a master ever. Absolutely not. So since we often deal with professional qualification, I would really take a bit of your time to we are what we are left with another 20 more minutes. Okay, I'll try to wind up at the earliest and leave the room open for questions. So more often when we ask a question to the students, okay, what do you want to be? You want to just get a plain vanilla degree, or you want to get a degree with some other qualification? A lot of hands will raise. Okay, and my next question is going to be, okay, a degree with professional qualification. How many wants to do? So people start looking faces each other because they would not know what a professional qualification is all about. All right. So a degree with a lot of other certifications, yeah, it's a possibility. Many of them do that. Perhaps Ethiraj College, I'm sure they would also be supporting students with a lot of certification and industry oriented programs, workshops, and certifications, etc. But I've coined a new term called professional qualification. So I'll just try to give a small information what this qualification means, and you can certainly do that. Okay, the reason why I'm saying this is not just for a knowledge sake. You can certainly do that. All right. So everyone, irrespective of whatever semester you belong to, you can certainly do that. Okay. So they are more oriented on a one specific area. So they differ from that of a university or a college qualification. They're let's say in a BCom or in a BBA, the student learns a lot of things. Okay, let's say in a BCom, besides audit, besides taxation, accountancy, you also learn law. You also learn, let's say, business communication. You learn environmental studies. You learn, many other papers, right? So whereas a professional qualification is definitely tuned to make you learn in one area. These are the areas, okay, accounting, finance, the many of them. These are like a very small list. I've listed it to you, and they have a very common content and examination structure. They've been awarded by a professional body, and they have a global relevance. Okay, so this is something which you need to make a note of it. And we spoke about skill. Yes, they're more skill based, application based. It'll have a case study and a case slides. So if anybody in the family, or if I have to ask a question to you, so how many case studies you have dealt in your 3 years program? So probably, they might start thinking, and they might start, in many colleges for that matter, they would not even know what a case study means. All right. So case studies in many colleges are given as a in a form of a competition, etc. But then case study, case slides is a part of a pedagogy when it comes to the professional qualifications. All right. So then you become a member, and you get access to a global body, global members across the world, and that is how you stay relevant. Generally, you pass out of a university or a college, so you become an alumni, right? So alumni will also have alumni meeting. So every now and then, in alumni meeting, they do a lot of knowledge sharing, and they might also discuss what are you doing and where are you placed, and a lot of get together, and you see your old friends, old buddies, and you feel happy about the whole stuff. Whereas in a professional qualification, you don't become an alumni. Since you're a member, you have member chapters, they meet quite often. They try to discuss what are the changing trends in my industry, in my area. So, as I said, in order to become relevant, you have to keep yourself changing. Okay, so things are not like before. Things are keep on changing. Maybe during my granny's days, during my father's days, the change was a pretty slow phenomenon, but now the change is quite rampant. Okay, so key takeaways. Okay, the need for the accountant to understand the digital impact on business is far higher today than it was 20 years ago. No, definitely not. It was just 6 months ago. What was the need 6 months ago? That the need is more higher in the current economy, in the current circumstance. All right. It was not like, okay, 20 years ago, this was not heard of. Now we are hearing. No, we never heard about. Let's talk about AI or machine learning, blockchain. Doctors, okay, medical professionals are also getting into blockchain technology. Because of blockchain, you can just, my cousin is a doctor. He was just sharing it to me. So there is a very less number of people, in India, who can do a open heart surgery. So there are a lot of doctors, a lot of surgeons you see. But when it comes to especially the open heart surgery, not many people. Okay, reason because when you want to do open heart surgery, when the doctor or medical professional needs to learn open heart surgery, the training is live. Okay, they need to have a live patient. They need to operate on the heart, and that is how the student of a medical profession learns these particular things, right? But then because of blockchain, it is becoming very easy for them. They can create a virtual image of a person. They can create each and every blood vessel or a nervous system which happens virtually, and everything, whatever tools a surgeon is using, if he's cutting the skin, if he's penetrating, the blood is oozing out, and if he's using anesthesia and the heart rate, everything can be done virtually. All right. So you need to be staying relevant. As I said, how accountancy or finance as a profession or a domain area has penetrated into the automation side, right? So we have learned in the previous slides. So you need to be staying relevant, right? Data transformation is the heart of the modern business, and 70% of the organizations either have a digital strategy or definitely they're going to work on one. So almost about 60% of them already created new business models for digital transformations. Banking, financial segments is no different in this particular segment. They also have, in a great way, transformed themselves. All right. So this is the key takeaway. The more you learn, the more you earn. A lot of programs on the digital side, on the analytics side. So there are a lot of programs on analytics. Especially you can do it. So there's no prerequisite that somebody has to be from a science or somebody has to be from a computer science. Absolutely not. Okay. So you can be a pure play commerce student, a plus 2 commerce student. You can certainly learn all the nuances of analytics and stay relevant. All right. So I have a few messages for students, because student seminars is something rarely I participate and rarely I attend, and I really feel whenever I'm talking to you, I feel I'm one among you, okay, receiving all this information. Please, forgive me if I'm not trying to scare you. I'm really not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to give you the practical reliefs, whatever is happening in the current world. So that is what I'm trying to give you in a small nutshell in about half an hour, 45 minutes. All right. So key messages to you. So create and pursue smart goals. Okay. So what is a smart goal? It's a specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. The goal has to be very specific. Okay. So assume that if you want to get a job in Ernst and Young, for example, one of the big fours. So you need to be very specific. Okay, fine. I want to get it when? Soon after graduation or after a couple of years? When? Which year? Which month? It can be as specific as that much. Okay. What is the salary that you want trying to expect? Okay, and it has to be attainable. You also need to put in, okay, if at all you're aiming a job in a big four, okay, so what is the qualities or skill sets that you should possess? You certainly can't skip or bunk your classes and say, look, I want to work in KPMG as a project lead or whatever it is. It has to be very relevant. So it should stay relevant. You can't give an unrealistic thing. Okay, after finishing my graduation, I need to get into a salary brackets of 1 lakh rupees. So it's a kind of unrealistic, so very unrealistic, and do not have that, and time bound, as I said. So have a goal sheet. Okay, in a goal sheet, start making it. So there may be errors. Okay, there may be mistakes. Please don't worry. Okay, that's not going to cost you anything, but you need to plan. Okay, so there is a saying: if you are failing to plan, okay, you're planning to fail. Okay, I'll repeat: if you're failing to plan, you're planning to fail. So planning is very crucial. Please do have a plan. Focus on small and continuous improvements. Okay, you all think, okay, fine, I wanted to do that, but I could not do. Okay, we all will be in that sulking mode. I really wanted to do it, but I did not do it. What to do? No, you make a small improvement. Be happy for it. Be contented. You praise yourself. Okay, do not expect your father, mother, or your teachers or your siblings to praise you. You praise yourself when you do a good job, when you do a small improvement towards your goal. Praise yourself, and it has to be continuous. Okay, extremely continuous. The continuous is a key. However small you do, you would have gone for a movie, you would have gone with a friend. But if you think that you have to read a book and you set a goal that you need to read a book in 1 week, but small improvement, even though you're occupied, there's a family function, whatever. So even ensure that you read a 1 page in a book. Okay, reading 1 page would take about 10 minutes of your time, or 15 minutes, right? So you can't say, look, I don't have 15 minutes, right? And reading a book is definitely not so. I'm just giving that as an example and explaining it to you. It can be anything, and be adaptable. Okay, be flexible, be adaptable. So you can't say, look, I want to do like this. I planned it like this, and this is what I need to do. Okay, you can't be like that. And get tech, so which is what my disruptions and the careers post COVID, if you can call. So I clearly mentioned, if we are getting into a gig economy, moving to a gig economy, and you have to be staying relevant and you have to be staying tech focused. It's not that you have to be a technical graduate to stay tech focused. You can certainly be a commerce graduate. You should feel proud to be a commerce graduate and still stay relevant and adopt for automation. Okay, that is what I said. Unlearn and relearn. Certain things you need to unlearn. Certain things you need to relearn. And You work on your brand. Everybody has a strength. Okay, so you all are great. You all have equal amount of strength. Please stop comparing. Okay, this comparison is something what probably our culture would have thought or whatever it is. But then unlearn that and stop creating your own brand. Okay, and learn data. So this is what I say. Whosoever comes across, I tell them learn data. Okay, there are a lot of tools available. A lot of if you can enroll for a course, investing a bit of a money, that's definitely great. That will certainly give you a return on investment. That is definitely going to be a great value for you, right? So rethink about your CV. Your CV is the representation of yourself. Okay, so the CV would for a fresher it would be about a one page or two page or three pages at the max. I mean, two pages at the max, I would say. And ensure the CV is, invest a lot of time. Often we get CVs from experienced people having some spelling mistakes, having some grammatical errors. So the one line there's a full stop, the other line there's no full stop. So these are the salient things that employers do watch. The attitude is very very important. So there was a survey which was done in last year. There was a survey, one of the institutes was doing it. So they every year they do a survey wherein which they interview almost about 200 CEOs. Okay, 200 plus CEOs. So what is very important? The idea is what is relevant. Okay, so in 2016, 17, if I'm not wrong, yeah, 2017, they said, so knowledge. Okay, knowledge is power. Okay, you need to have knowledge. So knowledge means what? Do more qualifications, acquire more degrees. Okay, that is very important. Is what was told by the CEOs. Okay, that's the inference of the interview I'm saying. So the next year they said knowledge is fine, that's not a problem, but we need skill. Okay, skill is very important. So because we get a lot of people with MCOM, MBA, double triple graduations, post graduations, all of that, but they don't have the skill. They're not able to do this job properly. So on the latest survey, he says knowledge is fine, that's okay. Skill, we can still give the skill. We can ensure the skill comes in. Somehow we'll give the training or whatever will do the skilling. Because you talk about a big fours like KPMG, Deloitte, UI, PwC. They have a lot of importance given for people to pursue higher education. If somebody goes, I was talking about professional qualifications, right? So somebody joins them, and there is a lot of opportunity for the employees to upscale themselves. So employers said, okay, CEO said skill is fine, but what is very important? What is the word they said? Attitude. Attitude is very important. So attitude defines your altitude. So have a good attitude. Okay, rethink on the CV, have a good attitude. And last but not the least, I'm saying do what you love. Okay, so you have time, but ensure that whatever you love, whatever you feel that is important, do that. All right, so with this note, I'm just sharing a small picture. So I want you to be flying colors. I wish you all the very best. Chennai is largely affected with COVID. The only solution is very very important solution. Have a social distancing. Please have a social distancing. So people say that in a densely populated country like India, how is it possible? Okay, yes, if you're traveling in a local train, local bus, you might not. But yes, when you go to a restaurant, when you go to a shop, when you go to a grocery shop, you can still maintain social distancing. It is definitely possible. All right, so have a social distancing, stay home, stay safe. Wish you all the best. Now I'm open to take your questions.
Thank you so much, sir. It was indeed a very enriching session. We have a few questions from the participants. So I'll just moderate it. The first question is from Ms. Sri Lakshmi Nambiar. What are the different career prospects post-COVID available for a BA Business Economics student?
You don't have to get so paranoid about the COVID things. All right. So there is a slowdown. There's definitely a slowdown in the economy, because I'll tell you why it is a slowdown. I'll tell you the reason also why it is a slowdown. See, things are not moving in a normal pace. So in a normal scenario, People used to go out and meet people, businesses used to happen, people used to commute, and the workflow was happening in a normal way. But now there's a tremendous amount of the workflow. The entire flow is completely disrupted. So local trains are not available. Government is putting a restriction that you have to stay indoors. So that way, the businesses are not able to function in the normal pace or a normal speed. All right. So of course, that is also leading to a lot of innovations, and people are coming into a lot of new ways of doing it. So since a lot of companies are not employees are not going to office, so companies are thinking, okay, fine, a lot of my workforce is not going to office. I can save a lot of money on the real estate. So I will create a ERP in such a way that people can work from home. So a business opportunity for you is get into the digital side. Okay, so you're getting into the economics. Very good. Learn to digest the data. Learn to assimilate the data. The slide which I showed you, people are moving into automation. People are moving into the data management. So you should really understand. So see, for example, artificial intelligence. Let me tell you, artificial intelligence can be done by a science student, can also be done by a non-science student. Science student does more from the programming aspect, or a common student does more from the application aspect. All right. So you don't have to learn a coding. I'm not trying to tell you you have to start learning some coding language or programming language. You can start enrolling for something to do with the analytics, or if you think that professional qualifications are relevant, you want to get into just look around. There are a lot of professional qualifications in your finance area, in your accountancy area. So you think that is also there, you can go ahead. It's as simple as that. So you have analytics, you have professional qualifications, there are professional bodies even in analytics as well. So all you need to do is, like you spent some time today, maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, or 1 hour. So you need to also spend an equal amount of your time on the internet for your life, for your career. All right. So you get to learn, you get to read things. Automatically your mind starts showing interest. Hey, look, this is something which is my area of interest, let me do this. All right, this is something which I'm not so interested, let me discard this. So start identifying the opportunities and start freezing on one particular opportunity.
Yeah, thank you, sir. The next question is from Ms. Shirari S. Between MSc Food and Nutrition and MSc Nutrition and Dietetics, which degree has higher career opportunities?
You need to really excuse me for this, because I do not really belong to this particular domain area. However, I would only, if at all, in a layman way of answering, I would try to attempt to answer this. So you need to try to look into the opportunities and the companies that are really available on this particular area. So food technology, or whatever relevant area. So by this time you would have been certainly having some kind of a knowledge. What are the job prospects, or which industries would recruit you? So simply try to understand what are the industries available, what is the research area that is taking place, how exactly this industry might shape up in future. And if you see a brighter scope in either of them, you can take it up one particular area. So since I do not belong to, I'm from a technical side plus a management side. I really do not belong to the MSc side. So I may not be a real precise suggestions might not be coming from me. Please excuse me for that. So as a layman, this is what I would say for you to do.
It's okay, sir. Thanks a lot for answering. The next question is from Ms. Shivangi Mandal. Considering digital divide, how relevant do you think these cloud-based things, IoT, automation, and everything is possible for students of arts to acquire?
It's a good question. What you can do is you can take a step-by-step approach. All right. So if I'm talking about a cloud-based accounting systems, or automation, or AI, or financial modeling, analytics for financial modeling. See, you don't have to acquire all these things at one go. Okay. Only thing is, try to shift your focus. Once you start getting into one area, So by and by, you can start making a small and tiny improvements on that particular area and start to progress in that particular direction. So it's not that, one fine day you have to enroll for all these qualifications or all these courses and get a knowledge out of it. Certainly not. So what I'm saying is try to, shift your mind, shift your attention that, okay, a regular degree would not be enough. In order to do a regular degree, what next? Okay, when I say not what next, many things comes up. Okay, people say, getting into digital, everybody are getting into digital, start doing something to do with the digital marketing. Okay, uh, fair, I mean, fair enough. If at all your area is keen on digital marketing, you can still do that. But what I'm saying is analytics is an evolving area. It has a broader scope. There's a lot of learning to be done there. Okay, so it's always better to be in a promising field, right?
Thank you, sir. The next question is from Ms. Kirti Sendil. Does job opportunities differ from a professional graduate and a degree graduate? Doesn't experience play a major role in employment rather than degree they pursue?
Very good question, and thanks for asking. It certainly plays a major role. All right. So I can give you a practical example. We get a lot of requirements from people who are in a mid-level management. Okay. So when maybe for if at all you are at the age of around 30 or mid-30s or something, so you will be in your mid-level management. So when you're on a mid-level management, there's always a lot of dire need or stress for you to upgrade yourself. Okay. So that is when we get a lot of requirements from such people across various quarters of business. Hey, look, I want to upgrade myself. Can you suggest me a course? Can you suggest me a professional body, etc.? So it definitely plays a vital role. Suppose a EY or a KPMG or a Deloitte or any big fours, or even for that matter any accounting firms, consulting firms, absorbing people. So there is definitely a difference when you're just a plain graduate and if you're a graduate with a professional qualification. There is a difference in terms of your job role. There's a difference in terms of your CTC as well. All right. So it certainly happens, because professional. And also, second important thing I'll tell you: once you're professionally qualified, your career ladder becomes very smooth. So everybody probably, you may be let's say you're a professionally qualified person with a degree and your friend is not. All right. So both of you might get a job in a big four corporation, but then your growth prospects are going to be much, much higher compared to your friend who's just a vanilla graduate. All right. So it makes a huge impact.
Thank you, sir. The next question is from Ms. Kirti Sendil again. What is the role of artificial intelligence in the field of pursuing an employment opportunity? Is it mandatory to learn research software such as Python?
In order to do AI, artificial intelligence, Python is the base. So you need to learn Python. Without Python, you will not be able to learn artificial intelligence. That is the second part of your question. The first part of your question is what is the need and necessity? We have seen how exactly the businesses are shaping, how exactly they are transforming themselves on the digital side, on the data driven, analytics driven areas. So when businesses are fine tuning in that particular dimension, it is very, very important and imperative, and probably it becomes inevitable for any student tomorrow that they have to possess these particular skill sets. So in that direction, yes, you need to learn these traits, these particular new things, and stay relevant and be industry ready.
Thank you, sir. The next question is from Ms. Soundarya Ramakrishnamurthy. Contemplating the environment of anxious responses along with the global pandemic situation, how do budding students ensure that they are being academically focused?
One word answer: stop watching TV. Okay, so stop watching the news. So there's a lot of panic that's been created. There could be, but then undue pressure gets mounted on anybody, and the phobia gets formed in your minds. So as far as possible, stop watching this. we all know how to protect ourselves. It's very simple. You don't have to keep on watching the commercials about washing hands and trying to forward the video. 20 seconds you need to spend washing your hands, sanitizers, this and that. So stop spending time there, and try to focus. I would say, in this time, try to inculcate a new skill. Okay, try to build a new skill. I would say it could be anything. So for a moment, I'm just telling you, for a moment, forget about all this digitalization or whatever I spoke for a moment. So you can build a new skill on various areas. Okay, probably on the business communication part. Excel learning, you can still learn Excel. A lot of platforms has a free course on Excel. So whatever that you are contemplating that you should be doing it, let's say in the month of January this year, or somebody who would have made a new year resolution that I should do so much, I should read these books, I should become a member of this, whatever. So you can fulfill all those. All right. So in the due course, stay open. Stay open for new ideas. That is what in my messages I clearly mentioned. Be adoptable. So when you're trying to get information from various and relevant, also one word of caution I want to give it to everyone. Whenever you get any information from the net, from the Google, try to understand what is that particular source. Is it a source which is quite reputed? Okay, if you're getting a information or a report from McKinsey or a NASCOM, or let's say, for that matter, the Financial Express or Financial Times. So these are something where you can actually, or CNN, whatever, you can probably rely upon the information. So there are a lot of sites and a lot of portals which might give you weird and obscure information and try to pass on up. And you don't have to get too judgmental on those things. Please do not get too judgmental. Often what happens is whenever we read information, we form judgments, we form conclusions. Please don't do that. So evaluate and ascertain, and then only form the conclusion. All right.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. The next question is again from Ms. Shivangi Mandal. Sir, can you talk about skill development, how it can be done in people, how government skill programs can be utilized, because education is changing from just knowledge to skills?
Absolutely, education is changing from knowledge to skills. That's a rightly put. Now, what happens is government does a lot of these programs, and many of these programs. I would say NSDL has a couple of programs which would enable students to learn on the derivative side, and a couple of programs are priced, and a couple of them are not priced. So try to look around. There are a lot of free sources available, and the advantages of getting into a free source is you can test whether are you prepared to do it. Okay, if at all you're trying to learn something on a free side, you can test are you prepared. So once your area of interest lies, if your mind is showing a lot of interest and zeal to learn that, then probably you can go for a paid approach. So it is a course available for whatever thousands or whatever money. Probably you can buy that course and start learning. So government programs are there. NSDC, I've not personally, I've not gone and checked into it. And NSDC is one particular area. There's a Sector Skill Council, which is again Government of India. There are few sectors, various sectors. I'm talking about logistics and software development, research, hospitality, travel and tourism, accounting. A lot of sectors that they do have. So you can probably do a little bit of a sourcing there, and a lot of vocational courses are also available. But vocational courses always get coupled with the university or a college. But you can try your luck. You can check it out if something is available there, and well, yes, these are the government programs that you can see, and often they are like very least priced, and if it is priced, or maybe they're freely available as well. So you can just try your luck out there.
Yes, sir. Thank you. The next question is from Ms. Sahana Pari. Can you please suggest some skill-related insights for the students from the arts stream who are interested in enhancing their skills?
Psychology is one such area. If at all you're interested, you can get into the psychology. So there is British Council for Psychology, which is again a professional body. So you can try to check a couple of options there, because that's an ever growing area, and people are, it's like a healthcare. People fall sick, and are we also get into depression, and the mental health is always very important, and that's one area for a arts stream. However, I would also say, if at all you know the basic math, okay. So if you know about the basic math, you can still enroll yourself for analytics. So that's certainly possible. So the basic math, definitely the arithmetic. I'm talking about the elementary maths, whatever you studied in your high school. If you can kind of rehearse those concepts, and analytics is also a good area for you. Digital marketing is something that you can really look for. So Digital Marketing Institute Ireland is the best. DMI Ireland, you can source for it. They are the best, and DMI Ireland has a lot of recognition in various quarters across the globe. Okay, so there's a Google certification as well, but nothing to beat like the DMI Ireland. So a lot of courses are available online from DMI Ireland. So you can certainly, if you have the attuned, interest on social media, and if you're tech savvy, and if you're a social media savvy, or affinity towards social media, so digital marketing can also come very handy for you. So you can probably think over.
Yes, sir. Thank you. The next question is from Ms. Yashwantini Ilango. How to relate accounting with technology?
If you can recall my earlier slide, accounting and technology has already gone hands in hand. Okay, so they're going to be the babies of the same mother, or two sides of the same coin. So this is very very important for you to understand. The finance domain is greatly transforming to tech driven area. So digitalization is the new word, and everybody is getting into the digital mode, automation, and you need to learn these things. So I in my previous presentation slides, I explained it to you. So what all you can do. So probably you can take one at a time and start moving, making progression there onwards.
Sure, sir. Thank you. The next question is from Ms. Shalini Kupusamy. Sir, you said about job ready workforce, but what we are learning is much different from the work that we do. What do you think we have to do to mold ourselves?
That is the irony, or I would say, that is what we all are into. That's what the entire education system is into. Because in a 3 years program, you're going to learn a lot of things, a lot of subjects, and whenever you join any organization, kind of whatever you learned might not become important to whatever you do. So there's a huge gap there. So that is what I'm just saying, for the students who are just starting their career, or maybe somebody who's in the initial years of final year. So you can do a goal setting exercise. You can certainly do set your goals. So it often happens people do not go with a goal, go with an agenda in their mind. So have a plan, have a goal, and try to see what is the best. Because see, every college is trying to make a very good attempt in terms of ensuring the students are getting industry oriented, and they prepare for the new challenges. Every college is trying to do their best, and every professor or faculty is trying to do their best. What happens is, as I said, the change is something very constant. So it is something which lies in you. You can't be expecting too many things from the college or from the professors. So now look, see, now the changing things happen. What if you're not supposed to go to the college? What if there's going to be a lockdown for the next 1 year? Are you going to be staying home happily watching TV and playing whatever? No, it's not possible, right? So you have to adopt yourself for the new learning. So this is the new normal. That is what I said. This is a new normal. This is this is a very very important phase for you to adjust and adopt. and you have to ensure that yes, you're going to be making yourself, available for the future trends. So the good thing is we have internet, we have various domains that are available. Only thing is, one can ask a question: for my career prospects, how much time or how many minutes have I spent on my laptop or my mobile phone, browsing for courses? How many people have really gone into Naukri, and I'm talking about a first year, second year, even third year graduate, gone into Naukri and said, okay, fine, these are the things I'm going to put it. Let me see what jobs open up. What is a job designation? What is the responsibilities that the job employer is, asking, expecting from me, and what is a CTC? So these are the things. This is what you're thinking for tomorrow. The future is always tomorrow, right? So that is what I said in my first slide. Are you ready for future? So future is something always futuristic. So you need to be thinking on those lines. So once you start thinking on those lines, trust me, guys, it may look a very abstract. Okay, it may look very abstract, but then once you start thinking and start doing on those things, it's like connecting dots. So slowly, there's going to be some clarity in your mind. Slowly, your mind will throw some clarity. Okay, so for the questions, whatever you asked, I don't have a very specific answer, but then broadly, if at all, I have my sister or my brother. So this is what I would have really told them to do.
Sure, sir. Thank you. Our next question from Ms. Ranjini Shekharana is on colloquialism. Witnessing the increase in English's penetration in novel students' mind, how do we keep a rooted connectivity with our mother culture?
Ma'am,
Okay.
this is hi
Quite
sir,
a quite a yeah,
Calvin from
Calvin.
Calvin. I'm sorry to interrupt, ma'am. Can we have? Can you just pick
I
one
can
of the
take this
top one or
question.
two questions?
Calvin, I can take this
Because
question. No worries.
yeah,
Calvin,
yeah.
I can take this question.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Well,
please go
see,
ahead.
we all have to be culturally oriented. The value system, whatever our culture teaches us, is going to be for lifetime. What happens is, so in terms of the business, okay, English is not just it's become a business language. Okay, so this is what you can communicate, right? So if at all, let's say a businessman opens up a enterprise, let's say in a place in Madurai, for example, I'm just saying. So there are two options. One is to ensure he's catering to the local needs. One option. Second option is if at all he wants to ensure a good amount of profits and expand his business, he has to move across borders of Tamil Nadu and go outside, probably outside Tamil Nadu, outside India as well. So when somebody goes outside India, of course, language comes into the picture, right? So we all are human beings. We need to talk, we need to communicate, we need to understand each other. The transaction, before actually a financial transaction takes place, there has to be a exchange of verbal transaction. So for the exchange of verbal transaction, language acts as a vital tool. So due respects to the entire culture, all the culture, wherever we come from, whichever state or territory that we come from, so we have to give importance to the commercial point of view. So the businessman, as I said in my example, the businessman in Madurai cannot say, "Look, I am happy with whatever I'm earning. I cannot go outside." Okay, if he's not going outside, yes, he'll be. We should be happy with the less profits only.
Thank you so much, sir, for answering all our questions. May I now request Mrs. Radhika Devarajan to take over for a formal vote of thanks.
I think she is left.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Good evening. It's a great honor and privilege to propose a vote of thanks on third day of webinar series on turning research to opportunity.
On behalf of Etisha students, I wish to express my sincere gratitude to our principal madam, Dr. S. Kode, for constant motivation and support. I would like to thank our distinguished speaker, Mr. Dayanand sir, Country Ed India International Skill Development Corporation, ISDC, for its excellent presentation and making webinar interesting and informative. His exemplary explanation has given a clear insight into the topic. I'm very sure that this topic has been particularly appropriate for the participants during this uncertain period, throwing light on the various opportunities and options available for their future. Thank you, sir. I thank all the students for their active participation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. One message to all the students. I made my best attempts to answer all your questions. If anybody has further more questions, my colleague Calvin has given his email ID and WhatsApp number. You can email the questions. I would be happy to reply on the emails. Also, I would be happy if you could share line of your feedback, how exactly you felt for today's session. It will be very grateful for you. So thank you so very much. I wish you all the best and stay indoors and stay safe. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, sir.